Get off the pad. No, wait, what does he say?
I don't know.
Is that what he says?
I don't know. Meg boots engaged. I have no idea.
No, right at the start, before they do anything, they're like,
oh yeah. So, listen here, Slappy, get off the pad. That's what he says.
No,
and at the end, it's like, you've exceeded our expectations of getting off the pad.
Good job, chum.
What are you talking about?
Oh, well, we'll get to that later, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that usually what's going through your head when me and Trax are talking? Is like, what are you guys talking about?
It's happened
Get
more
a
than
load
a
of
few
these
times.
two.
These freaking guys. It's all railguns this and railguns that.
Actually, I feel like I've kind of put the railguns away a little bit. More on that after the fold.
Okay.
So disappointed.
Well,
Well,
shall we get started?
we shall.
With what?
All right. Welcome everyone to the Loose Screws podcast. I'm your host, Roy Cookson. It's the 340th episode for the 9th of July, 2026.
Thursday.
33.
312.
Thursday.
God.
That would really
One
stop
job.
me in my tracks.
Okay. This week, I'm joined by Commander Chig,
Yeah, it's me.
Commander Zuzu,
Hi. Hello.
and Commander Jay and Trax.
Hello. Yay.
All right.
Zuzu, formerly from a different name, which I feel like
Yes.
needs clarification because was a regular on the show. So
Fair,
It's true.
fair.
No. Totally new character.
Does he want to dox himself?
Well, yeah. Captain Zuzu, formerly Commander Baromir. I'm back. I took a bit of a break. But I'm back now.
Well, that
It's
witness
okay.
protection isn't going to
It's good
help
to-
if you keep telling people your
to be
real
back.
name.
Oh, no.
Well, welcome back.
Oh, they're coming to get me.
All right. Let's
Isn't
go
all
around
for
the
that.
crew, see what everyone's up to. Chig,
Hi.
you start. You start.
Do I sound any different? I shaved my beard today.
What?
Yeah.
Sound wrong.
I went for a run and it was like 87 degrees with 82% humidity. And I'm like, I need to get rid of this. So now I can breathe. And I think you guys can hear me better. It's pretty cool. So that's been my week.
Okay. Elimination
Nice.
of facial hair. Got it. Anything in game?
Oh, I don't think my guy's got a beard in game. So still wearing a pumpkin head. That probably makes me hard to hear. Run ops. I've completed a couple solo on easy. Did a hard one or two. Wait, phrasing. Did some more difficult ones last night with some of the gang. That was kind of fun. I'm sure
You can save
touch
some
on
of that
that
for the
later.
discussion topic.
Yeah,
Just
I'm
saying.
sure
We're
we'll
going to talk
discuss-
all about that.
I was leading into that. I was going to segue into that, and like one guy sitting to the right of me was there last night too. So, Trax, how was your week?
pretty good. Pretty good. Watching a lot of the foosball. Actually, although I haven't engaged in today's games yet.
The Planet Goblet.
Yes, Planet Cup, Planet Chalice. Some particularly recently, right? So a really, really great game with. Now I see this is my wife's been killing me about this. I'm like immediately forgetting the teams that played after like 24 hours. But really good game with shoot.
Wait, I'm just going
He's
to
like,
stop
go-
you right there. Wait.
Yeah.
We're snobbish Americans. USA got knocked out. We don't care anymore. What are you talking about?
Well,
I thought the tournament was over.
No. Well, Switzerland, Colombia, that was a fun game. Portugal, Spain was was fun. So yeah, USA Belgium, one of the worst games I've ever seen.
Disaster.
The United States deserved to lose it so badly. It's awful.
Yeah,
And
they
all
played
Belgium had
terrible.
to do was play like basic standard, we have practiced this a lot soccer. It was just such an embarrassment. And I have to feel bad for the guys because I think I would have felt embarrassed just with all the other shit that had been going on. And yeah, I don't know. It would have hard to have been not to have been flustered, but I just couldn't believe how they just looked like they thought they were fancier than everybody, and every play was like they were trying to set something up, but they hadn't discussed what it was ahead of time, and then they just like blew it. Every single play, they just like, oh, watch how fancy I'm about to. Oh shoot! No, they took the ball away from me. It was just terrible. And,
See, me watching soccer for the first time in a while, and then I remember why I quit watching it, because it really just comes down to whichever players can pretend they stepped on a Lego better, gets penalty kicks, and then they move on with the game. The flopping is insane. It boggles my mind.
It is, yeah. The slightest touch of like a foot on another foot, and they just like the slow-mo, their face always just erupts, and then when the ref doesn't give them the time of day about it, they just hop up and, oh no, you were writhing for like 30 seconds, but now you're not even limping. What's going on over there?
Yeah, it's painful.
Rough. It sucks. And then every once in a while there's something sincere that happens, and when those happen, they're like nice about it and checking on each other. It's just so like plain as day. It's really rough. But anyway, many of the other games that did not involve the USA team were spectacular, and I really enjoyed them. So anyway, and I operated some in Elite.
Okay.
Finally got around to some of that. Okay, I'm done.
Good. All right. Let's go to Captain Zuzu.
Yeah, let's see. It's been quite some time since I've been on, and to be fair, it's been quite some time since I've played Elite Dangerous. So the last 2 weeks, good updates coming. The hype hit me hard, and I'm back like the fair weather fan that I truly am, back in it. So skipping the last 6 months entirely, what have I been up to? Let's see. Went on a nice date with a lady on Friday, Thursday, maybe both.
Is she listening right now?
Cool. She is a huge Elite Dangerous player.
Okay.
She is.
Hey.
No, she isn't. I'm pretty sure
Oh.
she's not. I'm pretty sure she doesn't know what this game is.
It didn't come up.
It was great. Where guys, we're having our first date. We're talking about things that we're into, right? And getting into that conversation. She's like, I've got 5 gaming consoles. I'm like, oh, I have a computer.
So you're just
that's
totally
the end of it?
incompatible, huh?
That was just the end of it then.
That was
I
pretty
have a
much
ball
it.
gag.
Right.
All right.
That's a console. No, great. And yeah, that's pretty much what I got going on there. It's kind of living life and trying to figure out that work-life balance business. In game, I came back. My Caspian was docked somewhere just outside the bubble. Maybe it was my colony system. I don't know. Those colonists are going to be fine. I've completely forgot about them. They're probably fine, right? And
I don't care.
I started jumping. Got close to Sag A. Remember that there was the Nomad coming out, so came back, grabbed the Nomad, went back out, did probably 80,000 light years worth of jumping in like a week and a half. Just rocking away the galaxy. Went to the you get the neutron jumps going. I'm doing 425, 450 light years in the jump. Discovering neutron stars for the first time. First time discovery is pretty cool stuff. Did the CG for a bit, and the Sanguinus region. I was on the far side and got a ton of first footfalls and discoveries. Found some crystal shard sites that were undiscovered. That felt kind of cool to relive the days of shooting at crystals to get mats. And then back, did my first op actually at a DSSA carrier with the boys for the first time. So that was kind of slick, being able to be out in the middle of the black, dock somewhere and join into a op. Very cool. And now I'm back in the bubble to hang out with you guys. That's pretty much the week. It's been a busy week.
Very
Nifty.
good. Very
How
good.
about Mr. Cookson? What's going on with
Yeah. Let's see. In real life, I have a mouse in my house, and it's driving me crazy. I'm
Sorry.
I'm on my own. This may be why the mouse has come out of hiding. I'm not sure. My wife is away visiting family, and for the last 2 nights, I've been kept awake by a very aggressive mouse. We live out in the sticks, so mice are not a new problem. We've had some from time to time, but this one is crazy. I woke up 2 nights ago to a sound I can only describe as chiseling wood. I went out into the hall, and there's this mouse carving a gouge in the bottom of the door down the hall, like just sitting there gnawing on it. There's shavings everywhere. I'd made some noise coming out of the bedroom, and he didn't even budge. I start walking towards him. I get like 2 feet away before he finally tears down the hall. Last night, I'm trying to sleep, and he's like chewing on something in the closet. There's no food in there. And, I turn the lights on and make a bunch of noise. Nothing. I go back to bed. At 2 a.m., he knocks over something on my nightstand.
Oh, no.
Again, no food there. So I'm upping my trap. But maybe I'm upping my trap game. I've got some electric traps, and actually the thing that's I'm looking forward to about these is actually not the electric part that shocks them, but I can put food inside of these, and it's enclosed. Like, I can't leave out the regular mechanical traps or like those sticky paper box traps, like with peanut butter or something in them, because the dog gets into them. And
Sure.
that would be very bad. So I'm desperately awaiting their arrival to continue the hunt.
Last time we had a bad mouse in the house where traps didn't work, poisoned it. We just couldn't get this thing. I finally just had to cave and let the family get a cat, and now we haven't had a mouse since.
Yeah.
That was totally going through my head last night. Is we need a cat. We have totally got to get a cat. Just be done with this.
Yeah. Well, now we no longer have any mice. Occasionally one will show up and it's like, oh, there's a mouse in the house. It won't be here long. Then it's gone shortly after. He ends up in somebody's shoe. But we also have way less spiders or any other creepy crawler that might exist. He murders everything he can find. So,
okay,
you need a cat.
Yeah, and they have fun doing it too.
Yes,
great symbiosis.
I will keep that in mind. In game, in a surprise to me too, I have ignored the Nomad and been playing Operations instead. We'll talk more about that in a bit. Let's see. We do not have any squad briefing tonight. No BGS highlights.
Yeah.
Everybody's busy, I guess, with operations or something. So we're going to jump straight to the short PP report.
This is the short PP report.
Target shields offline. Target destroyed.
It's average, so get your facts straight.
Cool. This was me, right?
I thought it was the next one. You got the next one.
You got the next one. Man.
This
I
is
got it on the
thing.
screen. You go.
Listen, I'm like the OG. I'm the PP player.
It's like the team keeps trying to set up a play, but they haven't discussed it beforehand or something. I don't know.
Come on.
Is this still
rehearsal?
Listen, it's average sized. I'm pretty sure my title on the Discord is still plays with PPs. I'm almost certain.
I think you're the role, right? That's your role.
I think so.
I think nobody else in the Discord even has.
All right, well, cycle 88. Thanks to K5 for throwing some notes together for us. So let's see. We're thinking there's not a whole lot of activity this week, likely because of the operations. So lack of in-game power play stats just from the instability from operations. One of the least productive weeks for nearly all the powers for quite some time. Except for Princess Aisling Duval didn't seem to phase the putting up one of the best weeks, or the best week, with 13 new systems, including a new stronghold systems. But what are you going to do? You know, people love the blue hair. Blue hair is good. Kaine, Mikado Kaine, if I remember that's their first name, continues her streak with 8 new systems, folks. 8 whole new systems. Good for them. Real proud of them. And both feds are still actually in the game. They're still listed as powers, which is surprising to be 6 months later that they're still around. But people have to go somewhere, and they continue to face some type of opposition. No new systems for the feds. Archer lost a fortified system, so that's embarrassing. And Winter's losing a system and a stronghold too. So, step it up, guys. Whatever you got to do, really put some gumption in there. And all the Imperials, besides Ashling, is also having a rough week. But Patreus joining the feds with a negative week, and Torval, the Spider Queen, showing next to 0 improvement. And I'm sure the younger we had a great week because frat boy's gonna frat. That's it. That's it. Do we still do do I do the scoreboard? Do I read that out? I don't do that, right?
The scoreboard? I mean, you pretty much
Leaderboard.
did.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
you
good.
hit the highlights.
Yeah,
Perfect.
we do the highlights. We read the, as he put it, the stream of consciousness that
We don't want the small PP
Kroger
report
puts-
to actually become average. I like the way you did that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
carry on.
Well, cheers to K5. Appreciate the report.
All
very
right.
good.
Dev news. What do we got? Tracks.
Dev news. Well, okay. So Operations Update 3. How long has Operations been out? A week? And we've
yeah.
had 3 updates to it already.
Mm.
Nice. So we're on 4.4.0.3, everybody, and I hope you've downloaded it, because if you haven't, you can't play, and I want you to have fun.
Then why would they play this? Oh, sorry.
Nah. So, let's see. Operations Update 3 is now live, and this update addresses a number of issues, and those issues include missing operation rewards and on-foot inventories, which are not fixed. So, starting off strong. Right at the top of the patch notes with something we know is not fixed. So the quality of life fixes, players' unsold exploration data from before July maintenance has now been restored and can be sold as normal. That's not quality of life. That's just a bug of something that fucked up.
Wait a minute.
players
Does that mean the unsold exploration data from after the 2nd of July has not been restored? Is that how you read that?
You're bound.
Well, I
Why
think
would
the
they say
2nd of
before the
July
2nd?
it had wiped a bunch of exploration data from before that. So anything
Oh, after wasn't
generated
wiped.
after the update wasn't wiped. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
By the way, that was a patch. That wasn't even the full update. That was the first patch they did after operations too. These guys are just swinging. They're just swinging.
Oh, so the patch is what fucked it? Okay. Players can now restore their visited star data via the Resync Local Data button. So I did this earlier, and I can report that I wouldn't have noticed, except that I was moving my carrier to some system that I knew I'd been to before, and I didn't have the little pick a spot within the system button. And I was
Oh.
like, oh yeah, I heard about that. So I must be affected by this. So yeah, you go to the menu, you go to the help where the get unstuck buttons are, and there's a resync your data. And what it does is it causes them to it causes the server to prepare the data download, and it says, come back later and I'll have it. And it doesn't tell you how long it'll take or anything. But then I did something else for a few minutes and went back later, and sure enough, it was okay, you're downloaded, you're good.
Does your
yeah.
example mean that there's an interaction between carrier jump locations and that file?
Well, no, I mean, I don't think so. What I'm saying is, when you go to move your carrier, or if you just look on the GAL map at a system, if you have visited that system, you can enter the system map for that system, and you could pick a sub location.
So it was stopping
Otherwise,
you from doing that?
the button is grayed out. So Mycoro, for example, which I have frequented many of times, I could not look at the system map from afar.
Interesting.
So that was my
Okay.
clue that my visited systems list was wrong The
Okay.
one on my computer was wrong because that's the deal, as you explained previously. That's the deal. It's the one on your computer that is wrong. So anyway, so I have my data back. I mean, I assume technically, I guess I didn't check it, but whatever. I'm giving. Okay, we're getting bogged down here. Operations rewards will be retroactively granted to players at a later date. Again, this is all under quality of life. That's just make a game work as it's supposed to. That is not quality of life improvements. They still don't seem to know what that word means. Okay, players whose on-foot inventories have been wiped, also under quality of, this, let's see, those inventories will be restored. It still shouldn't be under quality of life. No, not a quality. Okay, Merc engineering and Merc modules telegraphing improvements. That's quality of life. So now we have these little icons, and they don't make sense to me, but we'll learn them. The one that's like a pyramid, I guess, represents credits. So items that are for sale for credits have an icon. Merc coin items have an icon. And wait, is there a third one? I feel like there's a third one that I forgot about. Anyway, oh well. Maybe engineer stuff. So the engineer icon makes sense. That's the like gear. It's like a hexagonal sort of. It's like a nut. That's what it is. It's not a gear.
Yes, a nut.
It's a nut.
Mm-hmm.
Credits, for some reason, look like a pyramid with a stripe across it, like a triangle or something. I don't understand why that symbol or shape represents credits, but okay. And then, Merc coin or Farks or whatever is the F. So anyway, those icons appear in like sections of the store to tell you like what sort of thing is in that category. So, okay, quality of life. Improved telegraphing within outfitting, improved telegraphing within the ship's internal panel. Okay, so that stuff's all going to be there. I'm pretty sure that's what they mean by telegraphing is those little icons.
I was going to say, are we just going to pretend that telegraphing is a word we use all the time? Like, where did that come from?
Yeah, what is this, the Queen's English? What is this?
Yeah, I mean, telegraphing should, I think in the way they're using it makes me think they don't mean an actual telegraph message, right? They mean the more colloquial idiomatic version of it, where it's like, for example, when a football player gets lightly touched by another player and they go down screaming in agony and their face is telegraphing to the ref that they were injured grievously.
Yes, okay.
Right? I'm pretty sure that's what we're talking about here. And hopefully they're telegraphing something more meaningful than those players. Okay, so then there's bug fixes. Let's see. Operations reward screen could appear empty for some players. Now, considering the operations rewards could actually be empty, how are we to know which of those two bugs we were experiencing? But anyway, apparently that's fixed. Mission updated notification could minimize the operations reward screen. Okay. Resolved an issue where the UI could highlight the starting frontline runner as a mission objective. I think I always saw that. It was highlighted in blue.
Yeah, there
seemed
two.
to really be a problem, but I guess they didn't mean that. Okay. And then if a player dies with an active NPC crew, the NPC crew may not respawn on restart, so that's fixed. Instances of some voiceover lines and text discrepancies. Okay. An issue where the wheels of the Scarab SRV could display erratic visual behavior. As we have heard from Alec Turner, they could be anywhere at any time. Inside the craft, up on the roof, all kinds of weird shit. So that's fixed. A crash could occur with the opening of the power play menu during a hyperspace jump. Yep. What a time to open the power play menu. But now you do it. Resolved an issue where the fighter bay could clip through the Nomad when launching and docking. I guess because the Nomad's a bigger lady. Maybe.
Yeah, it could be.
Yep.
Don't say it to her face.
And I don't know, I feel like she's proud. Resolved an issue where fighter bay doors could clip through support pistons and the main ramp could appear misaligned. Okay.
Sure.
So anyway, there's your update. You know what isn't in this update or listed in any of the notes of the 3 updates or the main patch is that there's definitely been some audio changes.
Oh, yeah.
Unnoted audio changes. My take is that it's along the same lines of the audio changes they did like in the last major patch that were focused on the on-foot stuff, where there was a lot of adjustments of like reverbs and spatial stuff and making things kind of more present and more directional and more intense sounding. A lot of sort of balancing and mixing and a lot of intensity. All the on-ship sounds to me are kind of louder feeling without really being louder, and kind of crispier and more intense sounding in the mix. In fact, when there's a chaotic fight, and there have been lots of opportunities for chaotic fights, it's a lot, and it sounds starts to have sort of a distorted, crackly quality, especially loud sounds like boosting and guns firing. So I think it's cool. And I imagine it's basically a continuation of what they did before, as I said, but they just didn't note it at all. So it's just my professional assessment. Okay, that's it. I'm done.
Galnet news. You want to do that too?
And I'm back. Okay, here we go.
Galnet today. Cool.
Galnet news. Oh, I forgot to open this one. Hold on. Clicking a link.
Didn't she like circumcise a system permit or something?
Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, hold on. We'll get to that, because first, Vista Genomics Exobiology Initiative deemed a success. Yeah. The successful conclusion of this exobiology initiative. I didn't participate in this CG. It required me to go very far away, which I won't do even for something so absolutely invaluable as a paint job.
It was great.
Even though operations came out and there's now no consequences to going far away, because you can still play with everybody. So I don't know. No, I honestly, I had like sort of a week where I didn't really get to play very much. And then I just barely got back into Elite last night to try out operations. So, anyway. But the CG was a great success, and the Nomad is awesome, right?
It was honestly the best excuse to try out the Nomad. I definitely had the excuse to go exploring because I wanted to come back and get back into Elite, and I liked the exploration part of it most of all. But I got to tell you guys, like the landing, or I should say, breaching the atmosphere of a system and then just launching the Nomad is such a cool gameplay loop now.
Piercing the planet like a lawn dart.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, wow, my God, that cone is amazing. That angle, but then you just land, you launch your Nomad before you land, and then you look for space herpes because you hit the little scanner. Yeah, thank you. And you look at your map, and it's loud. There's a lot of stuff on there, especially Tectonicus. It's everywhere. So yeah, great excuse to try out the Nomad. Lots of fun.
Okay.
What are you? Am I allowed to ask him a question?
Absolutely,
Sir Manager of Podcasts.
Yeah, you're the host, man. Are we okay?
I'm
doing okay?
the host.
I will not ever stop inquiry. Please go ahead.
Okay. I heard from somebody that I trust that the Nomad might, besides it being great in the many ways that it's great, it might be contributing to a simplification of the exobiology loop in a way that might long term be a little bit sad. Should I elaborate, or do you have any thoughts so far?
Well, I definitely have thoughts on this. Let's be honest. Like the exobio as it was before could be considered engaging gameplay. Certainly could be considered that with a certain argument, but also was extremely frustrating gameplay. And while rewarding if you truly do like exploring, for sure, the more time it took to find that one plant, you do get a hit with a sense of, a wonder and accomplishment once you find said plant. But what a pain in the ass it was to find like that one pesky cactoida that it was on one specific mountain range on the side of it that you had nowhere to land unless you were in like the smallest of ships. So yes, did it make it a lot easier for me? So I've never actually, before the Nomad came out, so this might be the answer right here, I've never actually 100%ed any planet because good luck finding bacteria on an ice planet. It's just impossible to see. Well, it's not impossible anymore. So, I was definitely discovering every plant on planets as I was going through. So I don't know. I thought it's certainly easier, certainly more approachable, but it also felt like a tool we should have always had. And the Nomad is whatever. They could have given me an SRV with that scanner, and I would have been very happy with that too. I'm not going to complain about, having the Nomad and the ship interior and everything, but the scanner is the game-breaking thing, if anything. But man, it's good. It's so good. So
Yeah, I guess I have this feel like, and this isn't my gameplay loop, right? So I'm not really qualified to offer an opinion, but the point being taken from people who do get into this, I think, yeah, it's solving a clear and important problem. Like there are impossibilities, right, that would occur on planets all the time, like places you literally can't get to this thing.
mhm.
And there was no way to find it, but if you did find it, there was no way to get to it. But their solution just makes the whole thing so much easier that have they subtracted the total gameplay of, shrunk in a way. Yeah.
I have a couple thoughts on this.
Mhm.
The first one is, I think on balance, it's going to bring more people into exploration than
Yeah.
would have stayed otherwise. The middle of the bell curve or whatever, people that there's people who will never maybe dive into exploration for whatever reason, but there's people who have dabbled in it and then got turned off of it, and that's the people this solves for.
Sure.
The long-term explorers, the people that got used to the old ways. This goes back before, I guess, in the years between the founding of the game and then when I came back, but the very first ways that you could scan a system, for example, like think about the progression of that. It used to be you had to fly to all the bodies, and then you had to fly around the bodies to scan anything. So there has been a progression over time of semi-automating, whatever you want to call it, different steps, or maybe just reducing the friction in that process.
But
So
you're saying before DSS, right? Doesn't
yeah.
that- Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So yeah, I think, and even you could even argue that when Odyssey came out and we went to the heat map from the POIs, there was a number of mechanics that kind of got trampled on, stuff like brain trees and guardian ruins and those relationships, and the crystal forests, like you just found out in the black, that's all changed.
Yep.
So it's there. It appears that they're continuing to march towards greater appeal for loops, game loops, to bring in more people, and they're okay with sacrificing a little bit of extreme accomplishment that's necessary in the older systems, even though there was maybe a better accomplishment feelings associated with that for fewer and fewer people.
Could we argue that's depth, or could be called depth?
Yeah.
Because for
depth
someone
or
who
cliff
was going to get
as
into
well.
it, yeah, exactly. But for someone who was going to get into it, like, so the point, this is, I'm kind of lifting this and continuing it from Lave Radio's episode, and the point being, like, the scanner in the SRV for Horizons era hunting, materials and stuff on the surface.
Yep.
That scanner rules. Like, it has an awesome gameplay loop. It requires some decoding. And I feel like the FSS was a pretty good, like, spiritual continuation of that too. Like, it has some decoding that you can do. You can get good at kind of reading it quickly.
The sounds as well.
The sounds, yeah, and the stuff that they put into it. And so I think there's there's good gameplay there. And I wonder, like, and when they said it, oh, what if this thing had a scanner that was more like that? It just required a little more. And I go back to the exobiology scanner in the first place, when there was a little game to it. And the problem with it was that it was like reflex based, which was inappropriate for the setting. But they just, the answer was to just subtract it. instead of to make it, it doesn't make it so you just have to rotate it on your own or something. Like, give just the slightest bit of gameplay, find the matching pattern, line them up, and then click. Great. So you're doing the thing, but it's not reflex based, it's slower, and it just sort of you're rotating your controller back and forth or something to line it up, and then it's fun. Wouldn't that have been better? Anyway, I just feel like there's these easy way out things that have over time just eroded some of the deeper gameplay. And it also makes me think about things that are within my standard gameplay loop for me, like how dumbed down Thargoid fighting got during the Thargoid War. A bunch of I think the game is cheaper for what we had, but it was in service of getting to where pretty much anybody could get into it on some level. And if they were going to make it the main plot for like 3 years, I guess it had to happen.
Well, and it also created these events where like hundreds, if not thousands, of people showed up to, see the first one blow up or defend Seoul.
Right. Yep. So some give and some take, but those are thoughts.
Yeah, I think accessibility is going to be a topic of conversation when we talk about maybe ops sometime. As well. I think
maybe sometime. Okay, so I just derailed that whole thing so bad.
No,
so
that's fine.
Anyway, another article. We'll do this quick. Terry Tora released by the October Consortium in a surprise move. So Terry Tora, the xenobiologist credited with triggering widespread interest in HIP 87621, has been released. Tora, who had been held in custody by the October Consortium since her disappearance in late 3311, was investigating rumors of a significant xenobiological discovery when she stowed away on a Consortium megaship. She was later discovered in HIP 8761, having circumnavigated the system's permit lock and incarcerated on charges of corporate espionage. So I ask you, dear listener, how big is a permit lock? What sort of surface does it have? What kind of vehicle could you ride upon that surface with? Would it be a nomad? How long would it take to circumnavigate a permit lock? We're dealing with the deep, difficult questions now. How quiet is the silence? How dark is the night?
It's a funny mistake, but you know what it actually made me think of?
What?
I don't even know if this could be a thing, but is it possible that in this game there's puzzles that are unlocked by you jumping into certain systems in a certain sequence?
That's some Raxel Hunter shit right there, man.
Yeah, that's where my mind went with when you brought that up. But you heard it here.
Maybe
this
is a clue. Maybe this is a clue to the next puzzle that will eventually lead to Raxla, and somebody's going to discover that there's the suggestion of a code, a cipher somehow hidden in the misuse of that word.
Yeah,
the truth is out there, people.
Yep, they choose their words carefully in these things. It's not a joke. It means something.
It's not a joke. Might be our episode title. Anyway, that's it.
Okay. Let's go on to our main discussion topic, nominally named Operations You Brought What? So Operations has now been out long enough that we could stop talking about it as a theoretical feature and start talking about it as something commanders are actually succeeding at, failing at, and optimizing around.
For theoretical rewards.
I guess that part's still theoretical. We are still early. Obviously, the patches are still coming. Lots of things are still in flux, and nobody should pretend the meta is solved. But that makes this a perfect week for us to get practical. What have we run? What have we soloed? What did we bring that worked? What did we bring that absolutely did not work? And if a commander listening tonight wants to jump into operations, what should they know before they queue up, join a random group, or drag 3 friends into a private squad? So let's go around the crew. First, to each of you, what have you actually played in operations since it launched? If you would like to lead off.
I may have done the least. I'll go.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, that's right. You didn't play until last night either. Okay. Anyway, I tried out one solo on easy mode, and I did not have enough time to commit to it, but it was the reclamation point, I think, where you have there's like a cargo ship and you have to fight off the bad guys, and then they try to turn the hyperdrive back on and so on.
But it's on foot.
It is both.
Okay.
So yeah, you do a wave or two of baddies out front, and then you're allowed to land, and then you go inside, and there are a few different things that go down, different sections that you have to basically just keep eliminating everybody. And then they're in a different part, and you eliminate them there, and then they're in a different part, and you eliminate them all there. And then you go back out to the ship, and you have to fight off some people on the way out, kind of thing. And I didn't complete that last phase of it because I got called away and had to leave. And then last night I hopped on with some folks and we did some team stuff on hard mode, and it was pretty hard. Yeah, it was pretty hard. We did another one that was a little bit of both, and then I did one that was just waves of bad guys in space that was significantly less hard. And I think the reward level, like the amount of FARCs that they offer, is a pretty good indication of how difficult it's going to be / how long it's going to take, is my estimation.
Okay. Jake, what have you played in operations so far?
I've done a couple of them solo, on easy. Sorry, I was looking up the names of these things and I launched Operation instead. What's the one? Hold on, I want to find the names.
Yeah, I want to get that. Hold on, I'm going to do that too.
Hold on,
Flight assist on. Go to the panel.
Okay, so tactical takedown, I've done solo on easy.
And that's just for the audience who maybe hasn't played them yet. Which one is that?
That's the one where you gotta kind of run the blockade to land on a mega ship that's been taken over. Then you need to run around killing people, download something while waves of bad guys come at you. Then the power goes out. You got to turn the power back on. You do all of this then to find the location of this really cool installation in a ring, and then you have a space battle where you got to kill a handful of enemies and then kill a general that shows up in a Type 10. So that one's fun. It's I mean, if you've got grade 5 gear and stuff, it's the hardest part is when the waves of people come at you. But if you have the right guns and stuff, it's not overly difficult. Easier.
That's what we did in a group too. That is the highest paying one, so probably the most difficult.
Okay, we did that on hard in a group last night, and that was difficult. There was a point where we were downloading, and all three of you guys were dead, and I'm trying to stay alive in the room, ducking and diving and stuff, and we got through it. It was not easy by any stretch.
No, shield projector grenades,
and then even the space battle at the end is just. I don't know. On hard, that's the first thing I'll note. The difference between easy and hard is immense. I mean, it's not even close. So easy, I think, is intended to be the thing that, with some effort, you can, for solo players. And hard is for people that really want a challenge. And
look at the pay here.
Farming. Yeah.
So like 56 on easy and 175 on hard.
Yeah.
So more than triple the pay for hard. So I think that stands to reason a little bit.
Yeah, so I think I've done 5 of the 6 of them now, because then I did run a couple or 3 with Ark the other night. Me and him just ran some on easy, and with 2 people on easy, it's almost laughable how easy they are. But we're fully engineered, both foot stuff and in space. So yeah, I mean, my biggest. Are we talking about any tips and stuff yet or anything? Or
Oh
what, are
yeah,
we
no,
just
no,
going around the table?
just starting out with what you've played. So
Stay in
I
your
think
lane,
you've
man.
Okay, move on.
checked
Yep,
the box.
I'm done. I'm
Captain
quiet.
Zuzu, which ones have you played?
Yeah, I've done a couple. Yeah, we did the hard technical takedown last night. That was hard. Again, that was the get into the ship, download the stuff, shoot some people, get shot at, die a bunch of times because you don't have any upgraded shit. I'm sorry, stuff. Can we do that here? And then
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Yeah, just thanks, man.
I'm
Thanks.
pretty sure I took you out one time. I just want to apologize here because I didn't at the time. But you, in my defense, you didn't have your shield up.
Nope. Mm-mm.
But
That's something I do.
we were bobbing and weaving, and I wasn't being that careful, and I definitely domed the back of your head with a shotgun. And I am not sure having your shield up would have made a difference. So
No.
anyway,
Honestly, so squishy. And I think I have maybe I grabbed like a grade 3 suit with like no upgrade time. Very squishy in hard mode. But that's fine, Trax. I'm pretty sure I got you with a grenade on accident later on. Because guys, don't forget, you have mag boots in these, but generally there's no gravity. So the only grenade that actually goes where you want it is the shield generator. Everything else just goes wherever forward momentum will take it.
I mean, if we're going to be specific,
Hilarious.
there is no gravity, but that statement's only true for items that you throw or drop.
Yeah.
For everything else in the entire galaxy,
True.
there is
True.
gravity, ostensibly. So anyway.
So tactical takedown, and then the fight afterwards, which was absurdly difficult for me. Did I bring a Crusader or something? A terrible
An
move.
antique.
Just a terrible move. The other one I've done is biohazard takedown, where you're murdering scientists, and that one's fine. No problem with that.
Oh, cool.
Go figure. The scientists are squishy. They don't do this. By the way, we can talk about this a little bit later. They don't do this in the game UI, but on the website they do share recommended gear.
Oh, really?
Maybe talk about that a little bit later too. Yeah.
Yep.
Just
Yep.
realized that.
So
Roy, what about yourself?
I soloed. One of the first ones I did is I soloed Terminal Prosecution, which is all in space. You're fighting waves of lawless ships to draw out a general, the boss. I believe it's 3 waves, and it was actually kind of hard on solo just because there's 12 ships shooting at you. I ended up dying a couple times, but I'd made it to the checkpoint. Like after each wave is a checkpoint, and it'll let you relaunch with your ship fully rejuvenated. One bug I don't know that I've heard mentioned. I should actually look. Probably someone's reported it, but I had an NPC on my ship for flying the SLF, and I could only launch them once. If I was still going, if I launched them and then they died, but I was still going, even though the SLF would regenerate, or if I had in that ship actually a dual bay, so I had two of them, I couldn't launch a second time. So it only let me launch once.
Yeah, they acknowledged that one, and we discovered when we were doing it last night, if I died once and then I was able to redeploy my fighter. So if you die, you can redeploy. At least I could last night.
The one I've seen them acknowledge is the dying and not being able to bring it in. But maybe it's a different side of the same bug.
Yeah, no, I could not bring him. If he died, I could not bring him back in. But then if I died and your ship relaunched, then I could.
Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, I would agree with that, because after I got past the checkpoints, then I died, and then I respawned. Then it was like it was all refreshed. So yeah. What else?
So
I
your NPC pilot was basically like ammo. Then is what they're saying.
One shot done.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I played Biohazard Takedown in a group on hard a few times. I also played Tactical Take. So that's the one you're taking out the researchers on foot.
Yeah.
And then I also did Tactical Takedown a few times with different groups, both full planned groups and also like half and half planned and random people. on hard. Very different experiences across that. I think we'll maybe talk about that in a bit. But lots of different things going on there. So far, I've played several, but I've only done 3 of the 6. So I haven't done I haven't done the rescues, either rapid response or firestorm, or the reclamation point. So, before we get into the nuts and bolts and loadouts and ships and guns, have any of you had any of these, let's call it, oh, this is different moments, or something that surprised you that you didn't expect, even after weeks of build-up and people talking about this and so forth? Anyone have any surprising moments that come to mind, or it was just sort of like, yep, here it is, run around, shoot people?
The second one.
Okay. So just what it said on the tin, nothing novel.
This is a little bit of I think I kind of agree with Chig, but this is to reach a little bit. I wasn't going to be surprised if they weren't very hard. So having 4 of us have a pretty tough time doing probably the hardest one on hard mode, I was impressed. And I will also say that the first one, because I hadn't tried anything before, and I jumped into Reclamation Point on easy by myself. That was the first, when I got into a wave of fighting, because you have to fight off in space. I just rolled up in whatever I had, because I hadn't actually figured out the UI yet that I could change my ship. So I was in a Cobra 5, and it's loaded for combat, but then 8 ships attacked me all at the same time, and a Kestrel and a Corsair and a Python 2 were 3 of them. And I was like, uh-oh, this isn't going to work. There was no one else to distract these people. So I had to spin back around, and I actually switched to a heavier duty Kestrel and did it that way. So anyway, yes, I'm not I don't know. I'm happy that it's difficult at the level of difficulty that's there. I wouldn't have been surprised if it was easier than this. So that's what I'll say.
Okay. Zuzu, anything to add?
Yeah, no, I think so I'm very new still to on foot gameplay for the general most part. Even when I was doing any bit of the power play, download data, steal data stuff, all very new to me. So I think the best thing that I don't know, the most surprising thing I've seen so far is coordination. That there's definitely coordination, because there are some puzzles, or there's some objectives you have to stay on the point, whatever it is. There definitely seems like there should be more coordination, and I definitely appreciate that. In space, it's just aim for the same target and try not to smash into each other. That's what we're used to doing. Maybe there's more to that, more to come on that topic later, but just a big fan of the coordination. It does give me some shadows of what an MMO is generally, which is working together, right, for an objective with your people. So that felt nice.
That's a good point. And actually, that's if I had to pick something, that's what it would be too. If I compare, say, Tactical Takedown, that's the one that has the so on foot. You fly there. There's not much going on. I mean, they're shooting at you, but you can just land, and it's mostly all on foot. And then you fly out to take out the general. But the part on foot has the little puzzle with the breakers that you have to coordinate to, power back on. But the part in the middle where you're doing the data download is probably the most intense combat. And for me, it was very obvious with different squads which of them had played first-person shooters before. Not because they could aim and shoot better, but before they triggered the download, they're like, okay, let's just kind of look around here. Let's see where's some good places to stand, or who's going to cover what sight lines. Where's the guy downloading going to hide? There was a little bit of strategy going on, which made a ton of difference in how that went versus just, hit the button and Leroy Jenkins. So I enjoyed the fact that the game rewarded that kind of, even if it was 30 seconds of planning and some actual tactical thinking. So I thought that was cool. So for those of you that have soloed any of these, what, like, is it realistic? Is it going to have to be super try hard sweaties that have played a bunch of FPSs or are master, ship commanders? Or is it just it's only ever going to be on easy? No one's going to, most people are never going to solo a hard. What are the boundaries on this for the audience? How would you describe it?
I think I've already seen, well, I didn't watch it, but I've seen the thumbnail of a YouTube video, somebody claiming to have soloed tactical takedown on hard, which is the thing that we just had a pretty good time with 4 of us. So I'm never going to say nobody's going to do a hard one.
No, yeah.
I don't think I will.
Just to clarify, I guess what I'm getting at is it's hard to generalize from videos like that.
Yeah.
Right. Like there's people that can kill a Hydra in any ship. I'm not one of those people. Most people aren't one of those people.
Right.
So what do you think how should the general populace think about these missions from a solo ability standpoint?
That I know I'm monopolizing this. The checkpoint mechanic kind of means like at any point I think that's really forgiving. I think it's really forgiving game design, and it doesn't mean you don't have to complete it, but there are these points where you've gotten that far, and there's no limit to how many times you can die and respawn with a fresh ship or a fresh suit. So keep going, keep working at it. It'll take longer in solo, but you can do it.
Okay. Chig, you said you'd soloed some, right?
Uneasy, yeah. And I'm working on biohazard takedown on hard. I'm getting farther in it each time because of the checkpoints. So that one I'm pretty sure is soloable on hard, not easily. But I mean, even on easy solo, they're not easy. They're designed for a few people. But
do you have maxed out gear?
Of course. Who are you talking to?
Yeah. So that's a key point, right?
100%. And keep in mind, I did before this the hardest on foot thing were the highest grade safeguard missions, and I ran hundreds of those because that was the easiest way to get combat to combat 5. And I soloed a gazillion of those, and that's where you learn how cover in this game and how to kind of kite the AI. I know they've changed the AI, but people talked about how dramatic the change was. It wasn't as dramatic, in my opinion, as a lot of people have talked about it as. But they definitely improved it a bit. But it's not the smartest. These NPCs, when they're in groups, you can kind of get them into a line, even though they get smart and run around. You can get them to separate from each other, and still, the basics of the on foot stuff is literally just learning your cover. People duck and they think they're safe. They don't realize that somebody can shoot them from behind, from across the way, if you don't put your back against something. And people get right behind cover instead of getting, sight lines and stuff like that. There's a lot of FPS tricks you can use. So, I don't know. I think, like I said, easy is going to be what solo players can strive to, complete these. If they really don't want to play with other players, they are doable. And people that hate the ground stuff, that the easy are good. You can, with the right ships, fully engineered and stuff, they're doable. I cheated and just went pulled my Corvette out of mothballs to just make it easier.
That's not cheating. It's
it was
choice.
Absolutely cheating. Anything bigger than a median is cheating, but especially against NPCs.
Oh my god!
But the big key for anybody doing these too on the space battles: shoot the antiques first, because they just kind of melt. Shoot your cobras that show up. Shoot your crates that show up. Destroy them first. then work on the Kestrels and the
Yeah,
Pythons.
don't start with the Kestrels.
They are freaking just bullet sponges, man. I mean, the Kestrel is zigzagging around, but even like the Python, you shoot that thing for freaking ever. It just
They build them with massive shields. I mean, so that's the other big thing here that we haven't really touched on is the NPCs flying the new ships now.
Yep.
We're told that up to the Type 11 is in open mode, although a bunch of people are swearing that they've seen Caspians. I kind of am skeptical, but they said they saw him in Super Cruise too, so it couldn't have been like Pilot in a Nomad or something. So I don't know. I literally have hardly played in anything that wasn't in Operations. But in Operations, the Kestrels and everything are there. And all the new ships, like the AI builds for those are severe. And they're like Cobra 5s and stuff are not
Dude,
screwing around.
how
I mean,
about
they're
that Cobra 5 hull tank that is in
yeah,
these things? It's crazy.
one shows up with did it have
no
any
shield. No shield.
No shield. So
No shield.
so that's the other thing. Like Frontier put a shieldless combat ship in the game. I mean, that's something, right? That's a I didn't think I'd see it. And that thing took some punishment. They have cool paint jobs and they have ship kits on them, a lot of them, by the way. So yeah, when you see the new ships are always like the elite rated ones on the battlefield. Take them seriously. There was like Elite Captain Corsair, and that guy was flying a decked out plasma Corsair. These guys have phasing guns. I swear he had thermal conduit on his plasma. I wasn't looking and was shooting something else and took a blast, and it one-shotted my Kestrel shield, which is, I know it's a Kestrel, but it is not a wimp. And I was like, oh man, I was at like 6% and had to bail and sell bank. I don't know. They're big. They're big. So yes, so that's the tip. If we're on tips now, is oh sorry.
No, it's fine. I was going to say, actually, you're rattling off a bunch of stuff that was actually surprising. So it took a beat.
Oh,
but
okay.
yeah, there's surprising things here too. The ship configurations and the skill and the
how
weapon
tough they
choices
are.
and all that. And
Yeah.
we will come back to tips.
Okay.
Let's just talk about the ship missions for a second. What ships are you guys bringing to these? Are you just bringing the biggest, baddest thing you have? Are you playing what's fun? I mean, we talked about this in some previous weeks. Are we still in the phase of, I want to make sure I'm efficient and I survive? Or is it like, oh, this is chill, I'm just going to bring what's fun? What are you doing?
Well, I definitely came in with what was fun. I had my looked at my, again, not playing for 6 months. I looked at my list of ships and I'm like, I haven't used this Challenger in forever. So I popped into it, and there I had Concorde cannons on it. Fantastic.
Okay.
And landed some really great shots. But I did want to take my Corvette in with me, because that was right before I stopped playing. Spent maybe 2 weeks with the Corvette before I was like, I think I'll dump for a while. But I had an SLF on it, and it didn't trust the bug to not let me use it the whole time. So, but yeah, probably would end up with, because I'm a crap pilot, guys. I'm just not great at it. So having a big ship with a good meaty shield on it would have been a great help. But I got to tell you, those, like we mentioned before, all those ships hit so hard. There's so much engineering on their weapons. I think once they took my shields down, I think they would have had like disruptor missiles, or
they light you up with missiles when your shields drop.
Amazing. It was honestly
that's
glorious.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
And they fuck your modules right up.
Yeah, I think well, I haven't done anything solo. I think I probably would have taken a beefier ship, and if I was going to do something like solo on easy, absolutely.
Okay. Trax, what ships did you bring?
I've only, like I said, I tried at first in the Cobra 5 because I was sitting in it at the time and didn't realize I could change it. It wasn't enough to do a solo space battle wave. And that's what I meant earlier. I said something about how I put the railguns away. Like, with everybody following you at the same time, I can't do my fun, like, CZ move where I'm drifting around and just raining hell from 6 kilometers away. That's not going to fly when there's multiple ships, especially many of them just as fast as you, targeting you. So, I had to go with something. So I've only since then flown my Kestrel with it, and I think that's probably what I would keep doing when I'm doing these solo. Honestly, people keep telling me, "Oh no, you should just roll your Corvette and just overpower them all." And I'm not sure that's really the right answer. But I will say that when we were in a group, having a mix, I feel very sure was the right answer. I know
Okay.
everybody, like there were 2 Corvettes in our battle, and then the Challenger there, and then I had the Kestrel. It's easier for me to take out some of the tough smaller ships like Cobras and Kestrels. I can chase those down like the bigger ships can't. But just having the mix, yeah, having the mix helps not just for multi-targeting, but like I mean, there are times when the enemy captain would switch focus, and it behaved a little like a Thargoid, to be honest. Like it would stay on somebody for 30 seconds or so, and then there would be this demarcation where it was like, and now fuck you in particular, right? It would just switch and lock on to somebody else. So when it was me in a Kestrel, that really limits the damage output I can do. I got to start like jousting it with full pips to shields and then trying to replenish because the Captain T10 thing with like 100 phasing pulse lasers
That's so good.
Yeah.
A
was
snowball.
ridiculous. It was so mean. And
I think it was
yeah,
called Pink Floyd, wasn't it? Jesus.
Yeah.
it was crazy.
Psycho was
And
calling
so
it the disco ball. Yeah.
yeah, when it turned to face me, I was like, "Whoops!" And you know, chaff is my only friend, and distance, I guess. But then when it faced down one of the Corvettes, they can hang in there for a minute or two. Now it's still putting up just a massive amount of damage, so it takes a toll. But yeah, so I guess that's what I'm thinking, a mix. Now I think we could probably do it with a mix of mediums. You know, we could do it with, you know, two Corsairs, 2 Kestrels would be a nasty team, in my
Yeah,
opinion. So anyway, that's what I think.
I want to come back to you for a deeper version of this question. Let's bounce quick over to Chig. Chig, you mentioned at first you brought your Corvette out of mothballs. Did you try anything else?
Well, like Trax, I brought the best ship in the game when I first went in with my Cobra Mark V and tactical takedown, you know, ran that gauntlet and my shields were going down because everything was shooting at me. I'm like, whoa, that was rough.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, I got landed. Okay. And then, you know, doing the inside fight and, you know, beat when I got that the first time. It's like, okay, oh, now I got to go fight the general. Okay, let's head to the general. And then in my Cobra 5, yeah, I had no chance against all those ships, you know, in Cobra 5s. And I'm like, if I'm going to be doing these solo, I'm going to pull up my Corvette. So I just threw, you know, biggest shield I had, 3 shield cell banks, and just whatever random weapons just to get something out there. And that's what I was flying. So, I mean, even my Corvette, I didn't even have hull reinforcements or anything in it. I'm like, I'll just hope this shield holds up because I'm going to be doing it on easy. So then last night we're doing it on hard, and it's like, oh, if my shield goes down, I am dead. And I was.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so yeah, that's it. But I think in a group, I think sky's the limit on the ships you choose because you won't be focused by, you know, all 12 ships that are in the instance. It's kind of crazy, actually.
Yeah. I was also running with the Corvette and basically figured out that, so I had never used shield banks as often as I did in that battle with the general, ever. And it just turned into a duel. It was a shield bank duel, basically. How fast he could do it, how fast I could do it, and who ran it first, and that's what won the day. I do want to come back though, Trax, to what you were saying about, because I think this is where I'd like us to dig a little bit into ship design, because there's a different dynamic here. Like if you were to take the example of, okay, now there's 12 ships shooting at you, which you don't often run into. That's the surprising bit, right? You don't run into this normally in a CZ or anywhere else. So like, what's your best recommendations for designing around that? This is probably the solo. Let's talk about the solo example.
Yeah.
You're going to go solo this, then what?
Right. When we're in a group, there was a particular moment near the end, we had heavily damaged the general and everybody was exploding. I almost exploded, but in the Kestrel, I'm the only one who could choose to stay alive by running and just dodging in around the station. So I was able to do that until they get back in. So because I stayed alive, we didn't have to go back to checkpoint and we finished it. So there's the advantage of having a
So you were
at least one
holding-
small fast ship.
you were-
I was
you
holding
were-
the instance.
Yeah, holding the instance. You weren't engaging. You were just holding the instance for everyone.
I had
Okay.
to bail because if I didn't have anybody take the heat off. In solo, say your question again, because I just
What would you optimize?
talked
How would you
over
build how would you design your ship if you're going to solo this mission? What
I'm
would you do
not
differently?
sure.
Because some people are thinking, oh, I'll just roll up in my CZ ship or whatever, and
Yeah.
maybe not. Maybe there's some different optimizations here.
Well, you can't do just the drifty railgun thing forever. At least not without maybe I didn't try it in a Corsair. Maybe a Corsair could have with just a little more firepower and survivability could have managed something because that thing does have major staying power with just the railgunning forever. So that might help. But having the option to step away. So the technique, I think, first of all, we said pull the antiques. So figure out your targets when the wave all shows up. Some of them are going to be new generation ships. Unless you're in a group and you can just find one of them and focus it super quickly, you should ignore them because you have to get hard points off the battlefield. So all of those all of the old ones, all the Vipers and other things like that, old Cobras, they have hard points that hurt just as much as every other size 2 hard points. So they have to go off the battlefield and they will fall over quick. So you get those, you pull them away, kill them quick. Try to move quickly. I think if you're solo, right, you got to be going fast. I just can't imagine trying to do the general.
Well, I'm gonna drag you away from tactics for a second and back to ship design.
Oh,
Let's
okay,
suppose, because it sounds like there's a bifurcation here. One choice is have a ship that can run away, and another choice could be you have a tank. So how do you build a tank for this mission? And is it any different than building just a tough ship for a CZ or a power CZ?
Probably not. I mean, it's got to be the Corvette, right? You can't. Nothing else has because the tank only works if your firepower can outlast their guns. You know, if
it's got to be a shield tank.
Yeah, and you
right?
can do so. I guess
with all
I don't
the
know,
missiles, I think
and I think a cutter is a bad move in here because of all the Kestrels, right? The Corvette is probably the only large ship is probably the best large
nimble
ship
enough,
for this.
yeah.
That can turn well enough, and you're going to be doing a lot of kind of reverse turns. You're going to want long range
piss
guns.
off the Anaconda guys right now. You better be careful.
Oh, I don't care about the Anaconda. Nope. I'm sorry.
Are shield banks a non-negotiable?
Non-negotiable.
Yeah.
You will start losing modules. So okay, here's a technique. Here's a shield build technique, except that you're going to die, I guess. But if you're solo and respawn, right? Because then shield banks are negotiable. But if you're going to lose your shield, you're going to take massive module damage very quickly. They hammer you with missiles as soon as your shield goes down, and they're very effective. So even with module reinforcements, you're going to be taking a beating. And it's not like a Thargoid where you can cold orbit or something and repair. You don't have that luxury. So, yeah, you have to keep the shield up at all costs, or you have to get to a checkpoint and then die, right? And get a new ship.
Yes.
I haven't tried this, but is it, instead of dying, are you able to disengage back to the runner?
No.
And you can't do that.
No,
you can't do that.
If you
try to jump into Super Cruise.
If you do anything that's going
warning.
to take you out of the scenario, it will say the mission objective isn't completable and it'll roll you back to the checkpoint. So you will never be able to complete a stage and get to the next checkpoint unless you stay in it the whole time in one life. Or not in one life. It can take multiple lives. No, I'm confusing myself. Yes, because you go back to the checkpoint, that happens. It's just not forgiving. If you tried to go back and get a new ship, if you're on foot in the on foot sections, you can return to your hangar
Yeah, and change suits or whatever.
And you
yeah.
could change suits, you could re-up, but they're putting like ammo and grenade cases and everything all over the place inside those ships. So we got to the point in one of those missions where I think we had used up all the batteries. I think I was like just about to run out of power, and Chig found one more battery for me somewhere. Or I could have run to my ship. So
with the general, because there's two different generals. There's two different missions with generals, and they have very different generals. The one has the T10 with the phasing, and the other just shows up in I think it's
Anaconda.
an Anaconda.
Yeah, pretty cheap Anaconda, frankly. Even on hard mode, that thing fell right over. Compared to the T10, it was silly.
Let's talk about the disco ball. Would you, because it's phasing, would it be like a good idea to have, I don't know, more module reinforcements than you might normally have? Would that be a key thing, or and then a shield tank on top of that?
I don't think phasing damage has a chance to damage modules.
Just hull.
Yeah, I think it's just hull.
So have a big
only
hull.
Hull strikes
have a big
trigger
hull as well.
the equation for module damage. Yes,
have
you
a
need to
bigger
have
hull than
at
you might
least
otherwise?
some hull, but what do you think, Chick? I mean, I think you've got to go with all, a lot of shield and some hull.
Yeah, I hope you build it. I mean, if you're going 3 shield banks with, a large ship, you might be able to just get away with your hull not falling, but your shield not falling. But I definitely regretted not having some hull last night, because I could have probably, survived against the general a little while longer, that Type 10 bullshit thing he has. But I had paper hull under that. So I would just build a ship strong. Come to our outfitting and ask us for advice. Show us your ship and we'll fix it. Not you, Lark. Anybody but Lark can post a ship and I'll help you fix it.
Look, we're here now, so I'm going to pretend to be the person who doesn't know how to design that much, and I'm going to ask you some questions about this. If you're designing, because this is the first boss, you could say this is the first boss we've seen with
NPC
a unique
boss.
mechanic, right? The phasing T10.
I'm wondering, because we have a new laser variant as well with the Merc-coin stuff that you can buy. So there's this plasma damage laser thing that you can, this mod that you can apply to lasers. I'm not convinced it's actually better when I look at the math, but I was about to say something about building your ship resistances, because if the hardest thing you're going to fight is that Type 10, then thermal resist is your friend. And almost you could sacrifice other things potentially for that and do pretty well. Like if your hull was like mirrored, this would be a moment for mirrored hull, right? So
does phasing carry the type of damage through to the hull that it starts with? Like, is it thermal hull damage from a phasing laser?
I would think so.
Yeah, I think it's just, it was like a 10%.
Okay,
reduction.
so then a mirrored hull would be better. For people that haven't built a shield tank, there's different choices. You could have a prismatic shield. You could have shield cell banks. You could have the Guardian shield boosters. You could also have the shield modules. I'm not sure what they're called. And then in the utility slots, the shield boosters. Is there some generally accepted combination of those things, or one category of those is always better than the other, or it's a mix? Like, what does that look like?
You want to get your resistances up to a certain point, and then,
with the ones that go in the utility slots.
Yes. Well,
the
and
boosters.
your main shield.
And the shield itself.
And the shield itself, yes.
So do you use the Guardian modules at all for shield boost?
I don't.
So shield boosters apply a percentage, so they have a great effect on a great size shield. The Guardian shield boosters apply a fixed number of megajoules to your base shield without taking in resistance.
Shield reinforcements. Sorry, that's what they're called.
Guardian shield reinforcements. So the trouble is they're heavy and they use power. And they're sitting there taking up space in your ship, and they add, the big ones, a couple of 100 megajoules of shield. In a large ship with it's supposed to be a shield tank, like you should have tens of thousands of megajoules of shield. So these Guardian things are taking up like a size 4 or 5 slot and giving you 200 or 300 megajoules. It's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. So
they're never the good choice.
They're
not on a large ship,
right? The only time they've
What
ever
about a military slot?
Shell bank can go there.
Okay. Okay.
Shield cell
So
bank
cell
fits
bank's
in
always better.
military slots. So
And
yeah,
is there
more,
any quantity
yeah.
of cell bank that's just like, no, that's too much? It's just as many as you can fit?
In this instance, if you could go all shot,
You know,
but
the trouble is
power
the
becomes a
small
concern.
ones, yeah,
Don't
the
do much at
smaller
all.
sizes don't do
Yeah.
that much. Cell banks smaller than a 5 on a large ship, you might not even notice what they're doing to your shield, right?
Right.
Yeah, I think I'm 2 7s and a 6 on my Corvette. So
Yeah, but I would love on a Corvette, yeah, 2 7s and then you use your largest slots for cell banks.
So this is where your tip
the
about
Corvette,
the
I
cell
think,
banks
is
being
3
bigger
size
is better.
7s.
Yeah.
So you
Oh,
have
so
your
you could
7
do-
shield, 2 7
Yeah.
banks, then a 6 bank. I'm pretty
So
sure
you
That's
wouldn't
probably
got it.
right
do
because
that?
if you did the size 6 shield, I mean I haven't mathed it out. If you did the size 6 shield and 3 cell banks, you might, I don't know, you overcharge the plant and
Maybe, but I
maybe.
didn't have a size 6 shield.
I've
I didn't
never
have to
tried
try.
that. I've done 2 7s and a size 7 shield on a Corvette, and you double bank them. So when you have multiple cell banks, you can fire 2 of them really quick. And so the timing I think is fire a heat sink, watch your heat, and when it's like about to hit 0, then you double tap your cell bank button.
And they fire in sequence, just sequence through however many you have.
Yeah,
with each
exactly.
tap,
So with
one
2
tap for
7s, you're
each?
going to fire both basically together. That's if and I'm pretty sure that timing is for rapid charge because if they're specialized, they might take a lot longer to spool up. So you might have to wait for your heat to start climbing and then push the heat sink. But anyway, you double bank. You always need a heat sink for that for sure. So that's a tip, I guess.
Okay.
Whereas
So
on my
mirror-
Kestrel, I don't have heat sinks. I have like a specialized cell bank, and as long as I'm not boosting or firing guns, I'm going to be fine.
So, okay. So cell banks, the biggest shield, then shield boosters. And in this case, would you just maximize thermal resistance?
I'm thinking maybe, but you face a variety of weapons
Yeah.
in there, so I'm not sure. We'd have to fight a lot of these to know for sure. If you're fighting the general
Mhm.
specifically, if that was the only enemy, yes. But you've got frags hitting you, you have
Yeah.
plasma
too
hitting
big.
you, you have everything's hitting
Okay.
you.
Okay.
So you'd have a mix of heavy duty. So if we're talking about a prismatic on a ship like that, right? So
Yeah.
usually you go high capacity. So you will need some boosters are going to have the resistance mods to even that out, like one or two thermal resist boosters to get the resistances more even, and then a balance of resistance boosters and
Do you always
like
have some
heavy duty.
Do you always have some shield boosters that are just heavy duty supercapacitors as well, and then do resistance ones?
Oh yeah,
Yes, absolutely. You need the raw megajoules,
Yeah.
and then the percentages just improve
Commander's
that.
Toolbox, that website that Down to Earth Astronomy
yeah.
put together, is that still relevant for this kind of exercise, do you think? Because it had a tool for min-maxing shield booster mixes and a shield.
That might make it easier to think about. Most of the time, the best answer is put if you're starting with a biweave, you're putting thermal resist on the shield generator itself. So then you put like 1 or 2 resistance augmented boosters, and the rest should be heavy duty. Really with a biweave, you can get away with more heavy duty sometimes if you have the power for it, right? That's what it comes down to. Power and the weight, because heavy duty mod makes them a lot heavier. So a small ship, that matters. The difference between 14 tons and 1 ton is huge on a small ship. Large ships, this doesn't matter anymore. Load them up with heavy duty. You need to get your prismatic that has high cap on it to have enough thermal resistance to be balanced. So you're using thermal resist boosters. And I don't know, there's the math of min-maxing, like should I have 2 resistance augmented and 4 heavy duty versus if I change one of those and make it 3 to 3, is that going to give me more overall? It depends on the ship and the mass and stuff. So yeah, a calculator like that might help if you really care, but ultimately like heavy duties aren't going to do you wrong if you've got the power budget for them.
Yeah.
The resistance augmented is really on a big ship, big shield, usually only better only better if you're not encountering like plasma or ramming damage.
Like if I just while you were talking,
Oh,
I
those
just threw
kestrels
in,
though. Those kestrels
Yeah.
like to ram a lot.
Isn't
Interesting.
that
The NPC
interesting?
kestrels, yeah, they are ramming
So-
little bitches.
just to kind of get the ballpark of what people should be aiming for in terms of total shield strength. And this is not with cell banks. This is just the shield and boosters. A 7 prismatic reinforced high cap, and then 3 heavy duty boosters and 4 resistance boosters. You end up with 27,000 kinetic, 13,000 thermal, and 32,000 explosive. So very weak on thermal.
So yeah,
compared
you
to
need
the other
to
two.
change one of those resistance mods to thermal resist.
And do all of these, you keep it at supercapacitors for the experimental?
Yes, always super
Mhm,
cap.
always.
Changing
It's always
one.
better, no matter what.
I mean, there's probably some weird exceptions out
It looks
there,
like
but
each
it would
each
be
one I
very
switch
niche.
over to thermal brings up the thermal by 1,000. Each one.
And it brings down the others slightly
Yeah.
too. So
Mhm.
eventually you'll hit this even point. I think for a large ship in this situation, you want even resistances. And
Yeah, it looks
I
like,
frankly wouldn't struggle to bring them past 40 or 50% because there's plasma out there on the battlefield too.
Yeah, so just with the shield, again, reinforced high cap, 3 of the shield boosters with thermal, 1 with resistance, the other 3 with heavy duty. Now I'm at 16, 16, 18 for kinetic thermal explosive. So it evened it out.
Hmm.
So, and then of course you throw shield cell banks on top of that.
Get rid of the resistance augmented and make it another heavy duty.
Okay.
I think we can do
Changed
better.
it to, now we're at 14, 16, 17. So it kind of
You got more
went-
explosive. That might
went
not
wonky.
be valuable.
Yeah, it went
I don't
wonky
think
again.
I don't think they shoot missiles at you very much. You
When
know
your
what?
shield's
But
up.
here's-
Until your
in
shield
fact,
goes down. Yeah.
right,
with your
exactly.
shield.
So maybe we should let the explosive resistance fall off if we can,
Yeah.
in favor of
Okay.
the other two. That'd be interesting to try out.
Some cool stuff to try there. Let's keep moving. There's a few more questions. Let's pivot over to suits and weapons. What are you guys using? Is it all dominators and rocket launchers, or what have you brought?
We're too indoors for a rocket launch, don't you think, Chig?
What's that? I'm sorry.
A rocket
do you-
launcher indoors?
I see a lot of people use the rocket launcher. I brought one in to try it, and I just don't like it. I just you get a group, you gotta
Yeah.
maybe, but I found definitely no, that's not my style.
What do you run? Because I know what I do, but I only do
I-
the plasma guns.
Well, I played with some stuff. I mean, like the first time I tried running tactical, whatever, I tried doing it with just the pistol just to give it a go, see how hard the thing was. And you know that works really good. The plasma pistol works good. And then I was running my CZ ground CZ loadout. I've always used the plasma shotgun, just running, shooting people in the face, and the laser rifle from a distance. I just wasn't keen on I found all I was using is the plasma shotgun. So I'm like, well, do I want to go engineer another plasma shotgun
To carry 2?
Yeah, and I would love to, honestly, ideally,
Yeah,
what
because
I would do.
you can have them reload when you stock when you
Yeah.
Well,
stow it.
exactly. Right now, that's what I was going to say. My dream loadout would be 2 plasma shotguns with faster handling, so you can switch them faster, stowed reload, and bigger magazine capacity. So you have the 3 shots instead of 2 on each
Yeah.
one, and I would just run bouncing between the 2 and just shooting everybody in the face.
Very cool.
It would be very quick. But right now, my second gun, I pulled out the carbine just to try it, a little DACA action. And that thing just melts these guys, especially if you're good at hitting them in the head. Yeah. Oh my God. It's just.
You
running with
mentioned
that.
You mentioned that, and I had the same experience with, of all things, a grade 5 kinetic pistol, because it's as fast as you can pull the trigger, and it was melting people.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
interesting.
the kinetic machine gun, you just hold down the trigger and you just literally that's what I've been using. And I even played earlier, just as I've said, I'm trying to do the one on hard right now solo. So I was playing with weapons a little bit, and I keep going back to the shotgun in one slot and that kinetic gun in the other, and it's been working very well.
Zuzu, what have you been trying out
Well, I
for
was
suits and
actually
weapons?
I was just gonna chime in. So, question for you guys, as we're talking about weapons, do we find that the rock paper scissors of thermal weapons
Doesn't exist anymore.
No,
is that
not so
not
much.
really a thing anymore?
They really detuned that. When was it? It's months ago now.
Yeah, when they
Was it
redid
last
the
year?
AI and stuff, yeah,
Yeah.
they
There's almost
changed
no
that.
penalty, as far as I can tell. It's not much penalty for that. I think you do
Yeah.
get a benefit if you're sniping with a laser long range. Sure, great, but
Well, honestly,
But it was
did-
like shields versus armor, and they've just walked
Yeah.
that so far back that it's not
Yeah,
faster anymore
in
to switch guns.
CZs, the laser rifle, you can sit on a tower away. You don't need to use that slow-moving plasma sniper rifle anymore because the laser takes down even the armor after the shield goes down fast enough that you can just use that laser rifle from a mile away. It's ridiculous.
Oh, interesting.
So
Yeah,
is it
indoors, it just doesn't help.
so it's purely just bigger number better at this point for damage?
More or less. Yeah, it's slightly. It does a slight bit, but not enough to care.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I think,
In my opinion.
and because of that, I think it's now more down to weapon handling and shot speed, and maybe
Sure.
like in terms of the one button, one
Magazine
shot,
preference.
how fast you can pull the trigger as well on some of these.
Yeah, I don't use semi-auto. I hold down, well, except for the shotgun, obviously. But if you got a machine gun in this game, especially with the jitter, I must have the anti-jitter thing or whatever, because that machine gun
Maybe
does
this is
not
just
move.
maybe this is just my head, but like when you say that, what I think is, well, the machine gun, you just hold it down, but you're getting whatever its DPS is, versus a weapon that is based on how fast you can pull the trigger.
Right.
Maybe there's a bit of a loophole there, and you can actually out DPS the constant bullet hose with it.
Possibly,
I
but
mean,
when you
yeah.
got like three guys running at you, your random missed shots are still hitting the guy behind when you're just
Yeah, I
machine
wasn't
gunning.
using it for AoE or crowd control or anything. It was literally just, I was using it honestly as more of my long range weapon, because I was using rocket launcher and shotgun. And I found with the rocket launcher, I was struggling to hit two people at the same time most of the time with it. It
Yeah.
was.
Oh,
it
that
was,
makes it
you know,
really a waste then.
Yeah, I found I started trying to aim for their feet, and
Yeah.
that
I would aim
was-
beside them. I would aim beside them and blow them to the side, kind of thing. Yeah.
I thought it was
Nice.
spectacular watching it. It was
It's
beautiful.
fun. It was a lot of fun. I mean, there's that, right? So we've talked
Well,
about that before.
my rocket
What are we
launcher,
here for?
my rocket launcher has additional headshot damage because I found it at grade 3, and that was an engineering on it. So it's really a waste for me to bring
Oh,
that
what a
thing.
spectacular game. Why don't you aim at the ceiling then over them?
I don't know.
I think it was Psychoholic in Discord was talking about silenced weapons, and maybe for some of the
I started
operations that
that.
mattered more. What do you think? Have we played enough of the variants to see that, or?
I can see the effect. So all of my suits, the only thing I've ever done with suits is put quiet footsteps and stuff on them. Like my whole game is stealth, and all my guns, I put both kinds of suppression. And it works really well for all of the kinds of things that I did before operations, which wasn't very much. But in operations, yeah, my Dominator suit has night vision, quiet footsteps, and I have only been using the plasma guns. That's the only thing I've ever engineered. And previously, my setup was shotgun with extra magazine and executioner with extra magazine. And, they have the suppressors on them and stuff. And stowed reloading. And then the plasma pistol, like same basic thing. So every gun is the same setup. So
So do you think that would difference in the operations or certain ones?
It makes a difference when the lights are out. So the reclamation point, I'm pretty sure it's called, the one I was soloing, the ship is offline from the start. All the lights are out. And I'm the only one in that place not running around with a flashlight. So everybody else is, lighting up like the sun at me, and very easy to find. And they are all waving their guns wildly looking for me while I walk up right behind them and blast them in the back with the shotgun. And and then if you do it right in front of somebody, then they figure out where you are and you clear the room. And then the next room, they don't know where you are again. And then when we're in a group yesterday, there's a point in the mission where they turn the power off and we got to do that in the dark. And once again, I'm able to run into a room and find this NPC, scan the room, and then turn away from me. And then I just shoot him in the back. And so, yeah, it definitely works. If I'm in a room with a bunch of other people who don't have audio masking, the NPCs definitely aggro, but I can get away with quite a lot on my own.
Do they aggro, do you think, just on them and not you?
Oh, jeez. Sorry. My dog decided to flip out. She's going upstairs now. Anyway, sorry, say again?
If you're silent and your teammates are not, when the NPCs are aggroed, do they stay just aggroed on them?
Most of the time when the bullets start flying, they figure out that I'm part of it as well.
Because Psychoholic's question was, what if the whole team is kitted out like you described? Silent suit, silent weapons.
I think that would probably change some things. I think it would probably help. But keep in mind, it's really only going to help when the lights are off. So it's not like an all the time thing. So anyway, it's not an all the time thing. Yeah, I mean, I could only estimate.
I mean, like when you're downloading, I don't think being quiet and hiding while data is downloading and
so
stuff
you couldn't,
like that.
you couldn't all be up on that platform silent and with no lights and downloading, and the NPCs just walking around. They're going to find you.
Yeah, no, like when you're killing the scientists in the one, you got to kill the 4, the other level, kill the other 4. Maybe you can sneak past all the guards and stuff and just murder those guys. It'd be a fun try. I'd like to know if somebody's done it.
It'd be interesting to see in that situation if they work any differently than if you're just at a regular settlement, because even in broad daylight in a regular settlement, they have to have like direct eyesight on me when I execute somebody for any of the other guards to aggro. Like I can be very close. And in fact, to players, like I've been on a team with somebody and we're walking up and we're shoulder to shoulder and I shot somebody. And it was Audaxius, and he did not know what happened. He was like, that guy just died for no reason. I was like, no, I shot him right next to you. You can't hear me, apparently. So, which is funny because like the mod does that, but it doesn't do it on my screen. I mean, I can still hear my shots crackling and stuff. But the one change that I do want to make to this, because I actually, especially when we're in the group yesterday and trying to defend that download point, the executioner is useless. This sniper rifle, I'm never in a long range enough situation. And so I previously, like the carbines were the useless class of gun in this game. It was like shotguns, pistols. Pistols are great. Shotguns are good. And then the longer range rifles or the executioner for longer range stuff. But now everything's medium range in these things, at least as so far as that I've played. And even last night there was, one of my deaths was a particular NPC sort of found me, and I was like, oh, I'm too far away, but I can close this distance quickly and kill her with my shotgun. And she put me down with the plasma carbine, just dropped me right there. And I was like, oh shit, I need to rethink this. So I'm gonna, oh crap, I guess I'm not done engineering on foot. So now I'm in the process of finishing my build of a oppressor, it's called.
I'll say this, the AR-50 is the one that I'm using. It's fun.
Yeah.
I tried that one. That was
really
really
like
good
the
too.
AR-50.
Have any of you played the rapid response, the evacuate personnel
No.
trapped in a surface port?
Not.
Because that's the only one I could think of that maybe has long range engagements for a sniper. Because you're at a surface port. The rest of them, all the inside sight lines are too short.
Yeah. That gun's really good if people don't know you're there yet.
Yeah.
As soon as people start trying to dodge, even with a faster flight time, it's tough. And that's why I think the carbine version would be better. Is the plasma count as a carbine, or is that a longer range rifle? I don't know. It has a 50 round magazine before you upgrade it. So that's what I'm thinking is what I wanted in that defending the thing. I wanted more ammo before having to reload and to be able to put more damage out instead of sort of waiting a super long time between shots. So, but I wouldn't give up my shotgun for anything.
I'd like to pivot back to something you had mentioned, Trax, and talking about ships, bringing a mix. I'm wondering if that's, in the past we've questioned, do we need actual specialized roles? Is it going to turn into something like that? And I think we were at the time thinking maybe that would be the on-foot piece, a tank, a healer, a damage dealer. I'm wondering now if it might actually be more about the ship piece, given the severity of the NPCs and some of these new mechanics. Like you said, you had I don't know if you'd call the Kestrel the glass cannon, but you were able to hold the instance because you could disengage. Like that's a kind of a role. These aren't the familiar tank healer cannon roles. They're other roles. But that having
Arc was healing too. Arc had a Healy beam.
How effective was that, do you think?
Sure,
like is it enough that you'd want someone to bring that all the time?
No, and in the heat of between waves, him coming and topping off the shields, but in the middle of the fight, there's just so I'd rather
you're
have
more
that
valuable putting
firepower
up
to blow
damage.
things up. Yeah. You want things dead.
But I think you do, at the very least, you do need to be able to have somebody like that hold the instance. That's what's going to prevent you from losing the checkpoint, I think. But on foot, it wasn't like that. It was, we all are carrying 2 shield projector grenades, so we just have to coordinate enough to not shoot them off at the same time and waste them.
So is there any other, what would you say is a good mix for ships? What would you pick if you could just design a squad?
I don't know. I'd be interested to see what 2 Kestrels and 2 Corsairs goes like, but probably Corvettes are really going to be helpful.
Just one, or like a Corvette, Corsair, something else, and a Kestrel? Or you think the best would be 2 Corvettes, 2 Kestrels, or what?
I'm of the opinion, as many hard points as possible.
More guns.
Rip through
Bring
that
more
shit.
guns.
Yeah. Big shields, big guns. It's going to be the easy way, but
so just one Kestrel?
When we were doing it last night, a Piranha night would be fun, on these, as these are out more and people get better at them, you begin to challenge yourself and you go smaller and smaller ships.
That's true. But it may be already evolving to, on balance, bringing a mix is better than even bringing 4 Corvettes, and certainly better than bringing 4 Kestrels.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to know if the 3rd and 4th Corvette would have allowed the total health pool to be high enough that I wouldn't have nobody had to hold the instance. You know what I mean? Because there's a point, right, where we just have too many hit points to lose.
Yeah, and we'd be ripping things apart that much faster too.
Well, there could be. I mean, this could be a solution surface with more than one maxima or minima, right?
That's what we're saying is
if you're not going to bring,
there's no right or wrong.
Well, no, there's multiple optimizations is how I'd say it. Like if you're not going to bring 4 Corvettes, then you should probably have an instance holder ship, for example, something like that.
Yeah.
I'm landing on different gun loadouts too. We haven't really talked. Well, like my Kestrel, I would be using fixed guns all the time. I have various fixed gun things that I'm using.
You mean in other cases?
In other situations. But for this, I'm switching. Like I brought 2 small multi-cannons and a large, and then 2 plasma last night. And it was like fine, but I'm pretty sure I would have been more helpful in the fight with 2 large multi-cannons, 2 small multi-cannons, and 1 plasma. I would have been more consistently putting up more damage. And that's not like the fun way that I like to build a ship. But
what about your beloved shock cannons? What about the shock cannons?
The shock cannons are not the best thing for this fight. Very fun. But that's the thing is, like, for this fight, I needed to put up more constant damage because of fighting against Cobra 5s and Kestrels. And I got a lot of joy out of landing the 5 or 6 plasma shots that actually connected with one of those little bastards over the course of that fight. And they were devastating hits that ruined the ships. but they're very rare and difficult to accomplish, and more multi-cannons tracking would have been better, in spite of the fact that they're always popping chaff. I probably still would have put up more damage with more multi-cannons. So that's the thing about this game is like, I talk about all the ship builds and stuff, but that's because I'm doing CZs where I can have fun and do it the way I want. And with something that's this intense and you don't have other stuff to pull target aggro off of you all the time, especially if you're going to attack it solo, it's, what's the rule of Elite is, oops, all multi-cannons. It's rarely not the best option.
Oh, that's such
really
a
is.
true but disappointing answer.
Yeah, tracking and damage per energy. You can't beat the multi-cannon. So give in, use gimbaled multi-cannons and win.
Cannons. You heard it here first, folks. The new meta. Okay, let's move on a bit here. What do you think about random versus planned groups on hard mode? Does that need to be pre-made squads, or do you think random groups are viable?
Depends on the players that show up. I think.
Yeah,
Well,
I think
that's the
randos is
condition,
gonna be
right? With
very
randos.
tough. Yeah. I think
How many of
randos are
you
gonna be very
did
tough.
any of you play in a group that wasn't fully?
I haven't been
pre-made
able to
squads?
get into a random group. So
Any of you?
no answer.
No, I think you're the
No.
only one, man.
I have a
Yeah.
data point of, one. I played Tactical Takedown. I think it might have been. There was so many missions. I might have been with Psychoholic at the time. The two of us and two random people, and I was actually pretty amazed because, in Tactical Takedown, you have to coordinate what you're doing with the download in that sort of kill zone center room. And then you also have to coordinate who's going to what breakers to do all that. And I was shocked that when I had played that on hard with other with other squads of people I know, there was more than one time that I died or other people died and we were running back from the ship and that sort of thing. In this run through with two random people, we made it through clean. Yeah, here it is.
Yeah.
I actually took a screenshot. I was with
Wow.
Psychoholic, and I'll call them out. Bone Hacks and Philly Valfa. Like, those guys knew their stuff. And we weren't able to communicate through Discord. It was just
Pointing and stuff.
yeah, well, not even really moving, just kind of moving around and being situationally aware of like someone
Yeah.
would walk to a spot in that center room for the download. And it's like, okay, I guess that's where that guy's going to set up, and I'll go pick another spot. It was kind of uncanny how well it worked. So, yeah, not a lot of data points, but a very good experience. First time with a half and half group on a hard mode of a match that needed some coordination. Okay.
Well, one quick question: how long do you
Yeah.
think it'll be before they just let you do this from your ship? What's the point of having to be at a port?
A landing pad of some sort.
Well,
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
you go into a lobby, so and then you
Yeah.
appear on the squad, the whatever it is, operations carrier.
So what if
why
your
do you
ship
have
is
to be at a dock?
what if your ship is in atmosphere on a planet? Does it just fall to the ground, or does it go poof or dismisses
when you-
itself? Maybe
If you go into CQC, it just is there when you come back.
that's fair. That's fair.
Right. You don't even have to land for CQC.
No, it just
Yeah,
pops
I
up
am-
a thing. You go and you just appear. So it just
Is it
seems like
immersion?
a
Is it a
weird extra step.
submersion thing, or
Arbitrary.
You want to know immersion? Here's one. If you're in a system and you do the power play CZ and you choose the fire rescue one, the station in the system you're in just magically becomes on fire.
Oh,
and
they
then
do
when
it
you
in
come
the
out,
system
it's
you're
not-
in?
Oh yeah, it's right in the system you're in, 100%.
Okay.
So
What if
so
you're in a
no
system that doesn't
immersion.
have a station?
You probably can't choose that one. I don't know.
Huh.
Okay. Here's a question. What I'm going to call this the finale question. I'm going to mash a couple things together. I'm trying to get at what advice would you give people as to the minimum viable stuff they should show up in? And this isn't about ship shaming or equipment shaming or anything like this. It's more like what should we be? And I know it sounds like the site apparently has some recommendations on this as well. So maybe we're being repetitive
Yeah, I pulled
here,
them
but
up. They're not very detailed.
They're not very detailed.
okay. So what do you think are some practical things to where if people want to try this out, they don't want to be dragging down the team, but they don't want to ask, maybe also don't want to have to spend 3 weeks unlocking all the engineers, or maybe they have the engineers unlocked, but spending days, engineering a suit to a certain way, or what do you think is the minimum viable for a pretty good time? You're not going to go in and maybe have like I described, a perfectly clean run, but what do you think is minimum viable? And I'll also combine, like, let's say it's a loose screws operations night. What do we tell people? Like, here's what honestly you should bring, so that assume it's not like full clown show and we're just goofing off and memeing everything. What should people actually bring? What would you tell them? What would you tell people to bring? Suits and ships. And with some detail. Because someone's like, hey, I haven't tried this yet. I just joined the squadron. I just joined the Discord. You guys have a thing going on. It's kind of it's almost like when squadrons do those mining nights. Like, this isn't a clown show. It's like, we're actually trying to do this to get some experience, have some fun, get some merc coin. What should they bring?
Back in the day, we used to invite people to do Thargoid hunting with us, and we like way underestimate what people needed to bring. And some people would just end up getting murdered a bunch of times, and we're like, oh, sorry about that. We thought we could.
We would tell them the only thing you need is a laser.
Yeah, exactly. And then I always remember Diosymbiont when he came the one night and he shows up in a Type 10, his first time doing bug hunting, and I don't know how many hundreds of millions of credits and rebuys he ate because he just wasn't ready.
So let's make this really practical. Some people are going to show up tonight or tomorrow. They're going to be in Discord and they're going to be like, hey, anybody want to jump into an operations? If you could just like pull them aside, theoretically 30 seconds ahead of time, be like, hey, just so we all have fun, here's what you might want to think about bringing. What would that be? What would you recommend?
Are we running these on easy or hard?
Do one for each.
On easy, show up in anything you want, because
Really?
we're soloing these things already. So if they're running with me,
well, we have to get the fractions of a chig scale back out again. I think.
No, that's what I'm saying.
No, well, I can tell you that what Frontier is recommending as well is pretty much for the easy ones. They're saying, grade 1 to 2 on foot stuff. So I would say you will have more fun if you find some of those like grade 2 or 3 suits and weapons
at the
just that you can buy,
that you can just go
right,
buy,
without and the on foot engineering weird system like blows, but somebody shared, I think it was our federal friend there, I can't remember what he's changed his name to. Anyway, our federal friend Taiki, who played with us last night, he shared a video about doing on-foot engineering in Colonia, because it is much less spread out and everybody's kind of right there, and it's just like 2 people and you can just get it all done. So if you want to go do the unlocks and get stuff done, that would, highly recommend that. I didn't watch the video. I'm assuming it's great. But they're saying, grade 1 to 2 stuff, I think you could buy what you need without engineering, because you don't need any particular mods. I don't know. It's questionable whether any particular mod or another is really as useful as just the upgrades themselves, the grades, because they just make all the stats go up.
Yeah,
and then for hard...
Just to throw out there, I can 100% attest to the only thing I do have are the bot. I think my Dominator is a grade 2. I think the laser rifle I use is a grade 3 with stability.
You showed up and off the rack stuff, and it was good.
I thought it was at least easy mode was fine, and honestly, guys, mostly hard mode. The only thing that was the issue was I was really squishy in hard mode, but otherwise I was still able to land shots. I'm still having a great time. But yeah, easy, definitely. I think you just come as you are.
So as long as a number of people if you're running with Chig or you're running with someone like Psycho, who's like just a master of on foot, if somebody in the group is really, really good, it kind of eases the situation. It makes sense, right? It just eases the situation for everyone. But if you all showed up in off the stuff, how would that go?
I'm not sure we would have made it through that kill room thing, downloading the data
Definitely not
on hard.
Yeah.
What would you have a weapon recommendation for what weapons to bring?
It really feels like what you like,
on-foot weapons,
doesn't it?
Okay, that's if that's the answer, that's fair. I don't have a prescribed answer here.
I have very little experience with anything that isn't the plasma guns, but I just see everybody was downing players. I really think that plasma shotgun is something, but other than that, it's sort of like you love the look of and the feel of.
Other than a lot of people talking about the shotgun, I've seen just a variety of everything.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So show up in grade 1 or 2 with whatever hand weapon you want, and then ship recommendations. Any ship recommendations for easy and hard?
I don't know. I think I don't know if this bears mentioning or not, but like I think the new ships have obsoleted all the old ships.
Okay.
So that's an opinion, I guess, but it is just power creep, man. They're just stronger and faster and better, aren't they?
So it sounds like, Chig, did you have anything to add to this? Maybe we wrap it up. Did you have any more to add?
No. I mean, basically, you're asking, like, I don't know what you're asking. So, yes. No.
Well, I'm asking if we've coalesced on any recommendations, and it sounds like it's a bit early for that still.
It is a bit early for that, but I play this game for fun, so I don't give a fuck what people show up in.
Well, and you're so skilled. You're so skilled. You could take a paperclip and win. So
no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying we do this stuff it's just to have fun. You know, like we were talking about that. Like your show last week when you were talking about legally justify whatever shit you're bring, right?
Legally defensible.
That's where I'm at on everything.
Yeah.
I
well,
do.
Here's what I'm trying to solve for, right? Is there's I would hope that this draws more people into reaching out on the Discord to pull together operations runs, right? Have more fun with groups. And one thing that could be a point of friction is if they haven't done a lot of this, especially the on foot stuff, they don't want to be the one who brings it down.
There is that.
So it's how do you, what's the happy minimum that they could show up and everyone's like, yeah, cool, let's go, as opposed to they show up and they're like, oof, this is going to be rough.
I think the answer to your question is actually answering a slightly different question.
Okay.
And Chig, check my work on this because you have a lot more experience with on foot, especially. But I think it's about how you play instead of exactly what you bring. So if you're not experienced at the on foot stuff, you need to hang around behind and back up your stronger players a little bit. So be careful where your bullets are going, right? And watch and communicate with them and watch their reloads and cover their reloads, right? When they duck behind cover, that's when you pop. And just go with that. Let them be your cue and be a dancing partner and keep them in front of you so you can tell what's going on at all times. And I think you'll pick it up, even if you're not an FPS player.
Okay.
I agree.
Yeah, I generally agree too. And Roy, I wonder if just throw a question at you as we're wrapping this up, a small one. You know, I think, you and I have a fair amount of Destiny, experience, and we know Chig's past life as a World of Warcraft connoisseur. One of the great things about kind of instance dungeons or PvE like experience like this is it seems like easy mode, especially here, gives players a chance to get in, try the mode out. It's fairly accessible. There's that word I promised from earlier. It's fairly accessible to get in and get going. And then it kind of makes you want to experience the rest of the game. Like, oh, I want to explore this on foot stuff a little bit more. Maybe I do want to go gather some of these materials. So I think to your point, I don't know how you feel about that. Like, do you feel like right now there's a need to coalesce around a meta, or is this more about getting players into the game and getting them interested in experiencing kind of more of the progression?
I do see this more as a gateway. I was surprised, honestly, at how much fun I had with this. And maybe it was scratching a bit of an itch that Destiny, since I hadn't played that in a long time. But I like the idea that it creates, I think the perfect balance would be you have fun, but there was moments where you're like, oof, that could have gone a little better if I had a bit more skill with a certain technique, or if my gun was a little better, or if my suit was a little better. Like, it creates these mini side quest kind of things where now you can go do the thing in service of doing better the next time you're in operations and having more fun because you're more capable. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Anyone have anything else to add about operations?
I will
for
say
now?
this. Think of how much we're talking about this. I think they, even with the
Mess.
bugs and all this stuff, the mess they had, it really is impressive how much people are talking about it. So I think they hit a home run, even though it's buggy as shit.
That's a great point. I mean, I think many of us played several missions not even knowing if we were getting Merc coin and just kept going, right?
Yeah, the bugs are not preventing us from having fun.
Yeah.
They are breaking the rule, the agreement of this game that you have to get rewarded for the fun you're having, but we're still doing it.
Yeah, it's like, man, I should be more upset about this, but damn, this is fun. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
I hate to quote Reddit, but I definitely saw a post that said, this is the worst, performing update since Odyssey launched. It's like, oh, buddy, no, not even a little bit.
No. This is like Star Trek when they gave Data the emotion chip and he tried that drink at the bar from Kaine, and he's like, this is revolting. I love it.
Right. Give me
that
more.
kind of thing. Give me more. Yeah. Okay.
One thing that I just noticed about as I was looking at their Frontier's own recommendations, grade 1 and 2 for easy, grade 4 to 5 for hard, and the same thing, A-rated ship for easy, fully engineered grade 5 stuff for hard. But they say tactical takedown, firestorm, rapid response, they say it's recommended for 3 to 4 players. And the other 3, reclamation, biohazard, and whatever the last one is, because they've put a typo here and they put biohazard on twice, those are all listed as being 2 to 4 players recommended. So it's almost like they're, I just thought that, all the talk about can you solo this and stuff, I actually am a little surprised that Frontier themselves is recommending, potentially fewer players for some of the ones that are easier. So that's interesting. It's spread out, I think there's there's room for them to spread out more as they make more of these. So.
Okay.
Kind of cool.
Very good. Very good. Okay, so I think maybe the takeaway tonight is not that Operations already has one perfect meta build or one approved way to play. It's more that Operations seems to reward commanders who show up with some sort of purpose in mind, put a little bit of thought into the right ship and some on-foot kit, although it doesn't seem like those requirements are super extreme right now. It's maybe more about team awareness and learning some tactics. The meta obviously will change. There's many patches, I'm sure, to keep coming. We'll probably all look back in a month and laugh at what we thought was good. But for week 1, I would say the lesson seems pretty clear. Operations is not just asking whether you can fly, shoot, or drive well. It's testing whether your build and maybe more importantly, your behavior and tactics make sense to the 3 other commanders who have to survive alongside it. Okay. We don't
Yeah.
have any other segments for tonight. Does anyone have anything else they want to bring up or was hoping to talk about that we haven't touched upon?
Not it.
Okay.
Not it.
If not, thank you to Commander Chig, Captain Zuzu.
I'm engineering my on foot stuff.
Great. And Commander Jay and Trax.
Engineered feet.
If you'd like to chat with the crew and join in on the fun, you can find us at loosescrews.com or loosescrewsed.com. You'll find a link to our Discord there. We also have a Patreon used for supporting our community. So until next time, stay loose and screwy, Commanders. Say goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye,
everybody.
everyone.
Goodbye.